cricket world. Now the rule seems coming.
Welcome to the Caribbean Cricket Podcast, your one-stop shop for all things West Indies cricket. By the fans, for the fans. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of another episode, another conversation of the Caribbean Cricket Podcast. I'm one half of the Caribbean Cricket Podcast, Machel St. Patrick Hewitt. Santoki will be back very, very soon. In fact, I can tell you that tomorrow we are recording an episode with Miles Bascombe, Director of Cricket at Cricket West Indies. So look out for that drop. It should, I'd imagine, we'll post it tomorrow. Which will be around, 7 or 8 o'clock in the evening, depending on which particular Caribbean nation or island you're in. If you're in the UK, probably look out for that on Tuesday morning. But this particular episode, I just wanted to return again to look at round 2, do a quick review of round 2 of the West Indies Championship, our premier domestic red ball tournament. And at the conclusion of round 1, Windward Islands had kind of set pace along with Barbados, the two teams to win comprehensively so after round 1. And in round 2, we've seen victories in every single game. No cows on the field, no hose pipe wetting up any field, no ridiculous abandonments. We saw Jamaica beat CCC by 10 wickets. Trinidad and Tobago beat the West Indies Academy by 6 wickets. The Leeward Islands beat Guyana by 200 and something runs. I'd have to go back and remind myself just how many runs exactly they beat them by. I think it was like 270 odd. And Windward Islands beat Barbados by a significant amount of runs as well. In fact, I probably should go and find the exact figures for that. So Leeward Islands beat Guyana by 273 runs, and the Windward Islands actually beat Barbados by by 9 wickets. Sorry, by 9 wickets, not by runs. So the Windward Islands beat Barbados by 9 wickets. So what I'm going to do first things first is just kind of go through each of the key matches and just, I guess, talk about what are the key learnings we've picked up from the tournament after 2 rounds, and in particular more so focused on round 2 itself. So starting with Trinidad and Tobago versus the West Indies Academy. The West Indies Academy had beaten the Leeward Island Hurricanes in round 1. And there were lots of people who were kind of quick to say, yeah, I'm supporting West Indies Academy because lots of our kind of senior domestic pros are so down bad that we might as well support the youth man coming through because we got to look to the next generation. And I hear all of that. I really do hear all of that. But what I kind of said in our Discord group, and I stand by this, there is the youth man in that West Indies Academy team cannot learn anything by steamrolling through down bad domestic men, okay? They need to hold a humbling every now and again just to remind them that there's levels to this. And yes, it speaks bad as to what happened at Headley and Weeks last year and where some of our kind of senior guys are at. But I, for one, believe it or not, was kind of happy that Trinidad and Tobago beat the West Indies Academy by 6 wickets just because youth men have to learn. And the best way to learn is in defeat. And you learn more about yourself in defeat, I would say, than you do in victory. So it was a comprehensive win for the Red Force. Yes, they lost 6 wickets in the process in chasing down the meager 57 runs, or whatever it was they needed to win. 4 wickets, in the process in chasing down the 57 odd runs they needed to win in the second innings. But it was a comprehensive win. From the minute they bowled out West Indies Academy for 163 in their first innings, the match was set up for them to win. But the kind of key talking points coming out of that particular game, obviously Jide Gooley with the 113. It feels like, particularly if you're a Trinidad and Tobago domestic head, and if you're a keen kind of connoisseur or student of the domestic game in the Caribbean, it feels like we've been talking about Gooley for so long. Obviously, the backstory. He was part of the 2016 Under-19 World Cup winning team. Players like Hetmeyer have come through, Kemo Paul have come through, whoever else I'm missing from that team. They've come through, and we've been left wondering. Casey Carty, sorry, was in that team, and we've been left wondering, what about Gooley? How comes Gooley hasn't made it through? And for quite a while, we've kind of looked at the TNT domestic system and said it's because old men are holding him back. But actually, let me flip it on Gooley for a minute here. It gets to a point, and we like I say, we look at someone like Jide Gooley. It gets to a point where you have to kind of look at the youth man, and the thing is, he's not even a youth man anymore, right? I think he's 27 at them. I think he must be 20. Yeah, he's nearly 27. There comes a point where you have to stop looking at the Trinidad and Tobago first class system or club system and saying, why is Gooley not getting more chances? And you actually have to look at Gooley and say, you have to make the most of the chances that you get. Now, granted, he's 27 years old and he's only played 9 first class matches in his career. He's got 200s in those 9 matches. So 200s in 15 innings, no 50s, interestingly enough. So you could argue, well, 200s in 15 innings, that's about as good as any other so-called good average to good domestic man, right? He's averaging 28 after 9 first-class matches. He's only played 4 List A matches. So it's unbelievable, really and truly, that we've got this youth man who was part of an under-19 World Cup winning team. He's played 9 first-class matches and 4 List A matches in effectively 7 years. And yes, you have to look at the TNT Red Force Queen's Park Mafia almost and say, come on, man, come on, develop the youth man. But youth men have to take their chance when they get it. So well done, Gooley. Well done hitting your 113. Hopefully this is a sign of things to come in your personal development. And hopefully we see some more 50-plus scores or maybe even another 100 in the remaining rounds of the domestic championship. Away from that, the other key talking points, Jaden Seals looked good. He looked smooth in his action again. I think he took 3 wickets in the match. Anderson Phillip was back in TNT colours and looking good as well. I think he took, let me remind myself, he took 4 for in the first innings. I think he picked up another 1 or 2 in the second innings. It's easy to forget that Anderson Phillip was actually the next taxi on the rank a while back until he got that injury. Now we're talking about Shamar Joseph, and it's easy to forget that Seals and Phillip were actually on the rank before Shamar Joseph. So good on them for getting wickets. Slightly worrying for me, but also I guess in a positive way. Ashmead Ned got 7 wickets in the match. Joshua Bishop got 6 wickets in the match, and that's not bad for the youth man from the academy team. But Brian Charles picked up wickets. Kari Pierre picked up wickets, and again, I always just get worried when I see lots of spin taking wickets in matches in the Caribbean. So that's not to denigrate anything that Brian Charles, Kari Pierre, Ashmead Ned and Joshua Bishop did, but I just always get a tad worried when I see spin just dominating in matches like that. But either way, good victory for the T&T Red Force. Moving on to Jamaica. So down bad Jamaica won their first-class match since May 2022 with a comprehensive 10-wicket victory over CCC. CCC, of course, are more down bad than Jamaica. And after the first round, if you go back and watch that video that I did after the first round, I said that CCC versus Jamaica would be the most down bad match of the tournament. I've already raised my concerns about the structure and makeup of the CCC side. I don't think it's strong enough for this edition of the West Indies Championship. I mean, it's only round 2. Let's see if I'm right after 7 rounds of this competition, which is what we're playing this year. Let's see if CCC pick up any victories. I expect them to lose all 7 matches. And I think that, and I'll just reiterate my point again, if you are making up a team called CCC, at the very least or very minimum, Cricket West Indies, if they've got 4 spots to strengthen the side, then strengthen the side with all 4 spots. I don't know why they've only used 2 spots. Obviously, they've used experience in Shamar Brooks and Jonathan Carter, but that side clearly needs more experience in it. And Cricket West Indies should have insisted on 4 more spots. And remember, 2 more spots being taken. And those 2 spots don't have to be old man. Shamar Brooks is 35. I think Carter is 37. It doesn't have to be old man. You can get experience people who are youngish, and say, you know what, you come into the CCC team. People who weren't picked up. Now, of course, people say to me, well, name someone then, Mash. If you're going to say give it to someone, name someone. I don't know. Well, I should know if I'm the one saying it. Let me think off the top of my head. Somebody that could have maybe got, okay. He would have said no, of course. But Darren Bravo ain't playing any cricket. He probably would have told Cricket West Indies to SYM, but Darren Bravo isn't playing any cricket. Look around each territory, and is there somebody with experience, not currently in their franchise team, who could have? I still maintain Jamar Holder shouldn't be playing for Barbados. He should be playing for CCC, for example. So I just feel like Cricket West Indies could have supplemented the CCC side with a bit more experience. Does Hayden Walsh need to be playing for the Leeward Islands, for example? Where's O'Shane Thomas, by the way? Where is O'Shane Thomas? I know he's supposed to be. O'Shane Thomas was picked by the Leeward Islands franchise this year. Where is he? Is he playing down bad Bangladesh Premier League? So there's just a few names around the region where I'm like, well, couldn't they have gone into the CCC side or something? Like, come on, man. Anyways, Jamaica whooped them, won by 10 wickets. Now, for CCC, Jonathan Carter scored 135 not out in the first innings. I'm not going to hate on that, but again, I think it speaks about the lack of strength in depth in the CCC side that he clearly looked to cut above the rest. Chadwick Walton scored 163, the top score so far in the tournament, and then followed that up with 46 not out. Chadwick Walton is, of course, 38 years old. Jamaica Cricket Association and selectors will probably say, and that's why we picked Chadwick Walton. Okay. Does Chadwick Walton want to play Test cricket for the West Indies? Just asking the question. And Santoki and I warned about this, by the way. Santoki and I warned, go back and watch our video. Was it after the Australia series, Test series? And Santoki posted the clip the other day. And we said, what happens if somebody scores big versus CCC? And the thing is, some people look at did I say CCP? CCC, sorry. People sometimes look at Caribbean Cricket Podcasts and think that we're just here to just bust joke and we're not serious. We saw what was going to happen. Go back and watch the video. We said, what happens if someone scores a massive century against CCC? Because we knew that's what was going to happen. Wickham's already scored one. Now Chadwick Walton has scored one. Are the selectors just going to pick man based off centuries against CCC? Don't be surprised, Don't be surprised. We're looking for some openers, What are we saying? Chadwick Walton for the West Indies? Anyways. Away from that, Zishan Matara, I saw Nikhil tweet about him. I'd had a few people out of Barbados send me messages prior to the start of this West Indies Championship saying, look out for Zishan. Zishan was on the cusp of that regional under-19 side that went to the World Cup. He's still only 17 years old, so you can expect to see Zishan in the next edition of the under-19 World Cup, unless something catastrophic happens to his career and he suddenly experiences a serious loss of form. I would expect Zishan to be in the next under-19 World Cup edition for the West Indies. And we saw we saw why he's highly rated, essentially, in Barbados. I liked his flight. I liked the subtle variations that he had. Some of the Jamaica batters looked absolutely all at sea against him. So we'll continue to monitor Zishan as the tournament goes on. For the Jamaica side, Gordon Bryan picked up 6 wickets in the match. Bryan, if I'm not mistaken, let me find my stats if I've got them. Gordon Bryan currently, is he on my... In fact, no, he's not on this. I think he's the 6th highest wicket taker at the moment in the tournament. So we'll monitor his development. I don't know. Yeah, let's just monitor his development for now. Now, Pete Salmon. I'm going to pick my words carefully here because some people might say I'm out of order for saying this. I have concerns about his action. That's all I'm going to say. And the thing is, that's not all I'm going to say. I'm just going to add slightly to this and say this. I am sitting in a flat in London watching these matches on a YouTube feed, and I have concerns about his action. If I can see it from a flat in London, people can see that in Sabina Park in Jamaica. I'm just going to leave it like that. I said what I said. I said what I said. Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it 100, people. Come on, man. Come on, man. Anyways, let's move on. So Jamaica 10-wicket win against CCC. Moving on to the Windward Islands. The Windward Islands obviously topping the pile at the moment. When we had Miles Bascom on and Kishore Shallow on, more so Kishore actually, when Kishore came on prior to him becoming president of Cricket West Indies, we did a massive in-depth interview with him. You can find it on our audio podcast channels. It's on the YouTube archive pages. And Kishore spoke in depth about the work that had been going on in the Windward Islands Cricket Board to professionalize the setup of cricket in the Windward Islands. Remember that last year, the Windward Islands made what looked like a shock decision to remove Shirley Clark as their head coach. Does it look like the wrong decision now? Windward Islands have been a vastly improved team since that decision was made. They're leading the pile in this year's West Indies Championship. There's a long way to go. I'm not saying they're going to win it, but they look the most complete side so far. They obviously whooped Jamaica last week, and then they whooped Barbados this week as well. And obviously everyone's talking about Machel Louis, who scored back-to-back centuries. Where's my list? It was sent to me, people. Let me just see if I can access this. So let me find this, people. Bear with me. The details were sent to me. I put it in the Discord group and then forgot to. Here we go. So Machel Louis hit back-to-back centuries in our domestic tournament. The last batters to hit back-to-back centuries in our domestic tournament, this is in the last 10 years. So Machel Louis, obviously against Guyana in this round, 113 and 130. Last season, which everyone apparently has forgotten, Darren Bravo hit 100 and 100 not out against the Leeward Islands. Of course, Darren Bravo, who has now effectively seemingly quit from West Indies cricket or domestic cricket because he feels that he was disrespected. Devon Smith in 2017 hit 107 not out and 154 against Jamaica. In 2015, Craig Brathwaite hit 102 and 112 against Guyana. And then in 2013, Devon Smith, obviously domestic bully, hit 139 and 106 against CCC. So there's been 1, 2, 3. Machel Louis was the 5th person to do it in the last 10 years of domestic cricket, hit back-to-back centuries. But of that list I wrote, I gave you only... Well, no, when Craig did it, Craig was a youth man when he did it. So Machel Louis, the most recent youth man to do it since Craig Brathwaite did it in 2015. So when Craig did it, that was 9 years ago. Craig would have been 21. So Machel Louis, the first youth man to hit back-to-back centuries in a long old time in domestic cricket. And again, I think he scored 55 in the second innings against West Indies Academy last week as well. So in 4 innings, he's hit a no score of 50 and 2 centuries. Boy, in West Indies cricket, that pretty much means you're in the West Indies senior side. But I beg we chill. I beg we just monitor, man. And let's see how he goes for the rest of the tournament before we start talking about he must do this and we must call him up for that. Let's just see how man goes across the rest of the tournament. Big up Jamal Hamilton as well. 77 for Jamal Hamilton. I believe that's his second 50 of the tournament thus far. Let me just go and confirm. I believe he got a 50 against West Indies Academy. I just want to make sure I've got that right. Yes, I am right. So Jamal Hamilton, 2 50s in the tournament so far. And the reason why I want to just kind of stick on Jamal is when we talk about West Indies, the pressure on Josh Da Silva, no one ever brings Jamal Hamilton's name up. It's always like, at the moment, it's Tevin Imlach, who hasn't played any matches yet in this West Indies Championship, by the way. Where is he? But no one ever talks about Jamal Hamilton, right? Now, come at me, but Jamal Hamilton is the best actual wicket keeper in the region. If we're talking about pound for pound wicket keeping ability, I think Jamal Hamilton's the best wicket keeper in the region. Now, Jamal Hamilton, of course, has played 1 test match before. I believe it was against India. And even then, I feel like it was some kind of injury replacement. He's played 1 test match and 1 ODI. His first-class career has played 101 first-class matches and he averages 27 600s and 30 50s. In list day cricket, he's played 70 list day matches. He averages 30 0 hundreds, 10 50s. Now, again, I'm not saying that makes Jamal Hamilton amazing, but he's only 33. How comes he's never in the conversation? What, are we saying that man's not good enough at 33? Keown Otley just got called up to the ODI side at 34, going on 35. So how comes Jamal Hamilton don't ever enter any conversation? Just saying. Anyways, so Jamal struck a 77. Other than that, again, spin kind of dominated in this match. Jimbo took 6 in the second innings to run through Guyana. Daniel Dorham took 4 was it in the first innings or second innings? I can't remember if Dorham took sorry, did I say Guyana? Sorry, Barbados Pride. Sorry. Wait, hold on, people. Oh my God. Sorry, people. I just realized I think I just got this all mixed up. I think I was talking about the Windwards and then started talking about the Leewards. Oh my God. Sorry, people. My apologies. I just started mixing up 2 different teams there. People are going to crucify me. People are going to absolutely crucify me in this chat. God. I've only realized after about 5 minutes that I just started talking about 2 different teams. Right. People from the Leewards and Windwards are going to absolutely finish me over that. So let's start again. First, I was actually talking about Kishore Shallow and the Windward Islands, and then somehow I started talking about the Leeward Islands. My apologies, people. Absolutely, I can't believe I've just done that. People are absolutely going to finish me for that. Right, let me start again. I'm not even, do you know what? I'm not even going to record again. Because then that will make it feel like, oh, I never actually said that. No, I said what I said. I'll mix it up, people. Hold my hands up, mix it up. Start again. So, Windward Islands. Sorry, I don't know why I suddenly started talking about the Leewards. It's because I looked down at my notes and I think I just got confused about what I was talking about. Although all my points were valid, but I wasn't actually talking about the right team. So, Windward Islands, like I say, Kishore has spoken on previous podcast episodes about how organized and what they've done to professionalize the Windward Islands setup. So Windward Islands, my apologies, beat Barbados by 9 wickets. Can't believe I did that. Beat Barbados by 9 wickets and beat them easily. Barbados, at one point in that first innings, Barbados were, what were they? They were like, I feel like they were 50 for 5. They did well to even recover to 214. Again, Kevin Wickham to the 4. Remember, Kevin scored a century against CCC in the first round and then backed it up with a 50 against the Windward Islands. But when the Windwards came to bat, they made what I thought was a tricky pitch actually look all right to bat on, led by Jeremy Solizano, who scored 86 in that first innings against Barbados. And I guess I just want to touch on Ryan John here. So at the moment, Ryan John is the top wicket taker in the tournament after 2 rounds, 13 wickets at 11. Ryan John was another one who was actually in that 2016 World Cup winning side. And I feel like, I think there's, unless I'm mistaken, I think there was some concerns about his action. Have I got that wrong? I feel like there was some concerns about his action earlier on in his career. But I feel like Ryan John is always there or thereabouts when it comes to wicket takers in the region. He's somebody that I think deserves a West Indies A-team opportunity. I don't know when the next West Indies A-team tour is going to be, but I would be thinking about taking Ryan John on it. Not just because he's a leading wicket taker at this point in time, but Ryan John's deceptively quicker than people think he is. And again, I always feel he's always there or thereabouts. So somebody who, I'm not saying he necessarily passes my eye test, but he passes my eye test with regards to being given an A-team opportunity. So Ryan John, again, he took 7 wickets in the match. And as was saying, Solizano hit an 86 to kind of set the game up for the Windward Islands. And then when Barbados came to bat again, 126 all over the place. When Barbados came to bat, they were all over the place. 126 all out. Shamar Springer took 4 for 44. Shamar actually is the 5th highest wicket taker at the moment, 11 wickets at 17. He bowled well against Jamaica as well. Also contributed with the bat against Jamaica in round 1. So Shamar is playing well from an all-round perspective. Jamel Warrican took 5 for 59 for Barbados. He's currently on 12 wickets at 9 apiece. That says to me more about the standard of the battership thus far than it does about Jamel Warrican, but you still have to respect the numbers, obviously. 12 wickets at 9 apiece after 2 games is absolutely ridiculous. But then I also have to acknowledge that Barbados have played, CCC so far? So I don't know how much figures against CCC skew things. We have to wait and see until all 7 rounds are done. Something that has come out of that Windward Islands Barbados game, though, is how down bad Craig Brathwaite is at the moment. His form is horrific at this moment in time. Let me see if I can find. Let me just read to you Craig Brathwaite. I'm still reeling at the fact that I mixed up Windwards and Leewards. I can't wait for the comments that people are going to put on this video when they say, Mash, you dunce, what are you flipping talking about? And you say you're serious. I'm a big dunce, yes. Right, this is Craig's recent scores in first-class cricket. He's down bad, you know. Here we go. So Australia Test Series, 13-1, 4-16. And then so far in 2 rounds of the West Indies Championship, 7 and Duck versus CCC, 2 and 18 versus Windward Islands. If we then look at, it's a different format of cricket, but the last cricket he had before then was then the List Day tournament, the Super 50 tournament. These are his last 6 scores, 5 scores in Super 50. 11, 2, 32, 17, Duck. He's in a horrendous patch of form. By no stretch of the imagination would I ever be saying, oh, and that means Craig's spot should be under any kind of consideration. Absolutely not. But we have to acknowledge he's in some serious bad form right now. Craig's got through this before. He'll get through it again. But it's just it's a cautionary note here. When you are a West Indies Test player, we expect you to come back into domestic cricket and just beat up all the domestic men. And make big runs. My concern thus far after 2 rounds of the championship is that, okay, you could argue Jamel Warrican 12 wickets at 9, but if we look at with the bat, my concern is that no real test man has come back and dominated proceedings in any real innings. That worries me. Anyways, now officially moving over to the Leeward Islands. I've already kind of spoken about the Leeward Islands because I mixed them up with the Windward Islands. But as I said, Machel Louis, everyone's talking about him with the back-to-back centuries in their huge win against Guyana by 273 runs. But as I said, I've already spoken about Jamar as well. Tajan Ryan Chanderpaul scored a 47 in the second innings off 177 balls. That's how Tage is going to get himself back into form. He's going to have to grind ball it, grind till he finds form. Make no mistake, Tage's spot is under threat. So far in the tournament, where's my stats? So far in the tournament, there are 2 openers who are the top 2 run scorers at the moment. Machel Louis, 307 runs at 77 apiece. Chadwick Walton, 233 runs at 78 apiece. I am not saying either one is going to force Tajan Ryan Chanderpaul out of the West Indies side, but we have to acknowledge that if any opener continues to put up big runs across the rest of this tournament, then yes, they should expect that they will go to England as the 3rd person. I still think they'll retain Tage. I mean, it's not like Zachary McCaskey has put up runs, and Zachary went to Australia as a 3rd person. So both Tage's spot as the 2nd person and Zachary McCaskey's spot as a 3rd person in terms of openers is under scrutiny. If Machel Louis, even big Chadwick Walton at 38 years old, if any opener in the region, Jeremy Solizano may well say, boy, put me in the conversation. Okay, Solizano. Solizano currently is the 7th highest run scorer in the competition, 154 runs at 52 apiece. Any opener, Johan Jeremiah, 135 runs at 49 apiece. Any opener that puts up runs, you're in the conversation. You're in the conversation. So Tage, you're under pressure, my guy. But Machel Louis, obviously back-to-back centuries. I already gave you the stats about when the last time a youth man did this and so on and so forth. But that point I was making before I realized I was talking about the Leewards instead of the Windwards because I'd mixed up my notes. Jimbo took 6. Daniel Dorham took 4. Kevlon Anderson took 5. Again, worrying signs for me when spinners are just running through sides. It always worries me when you see, I don't want to say innocuous spin, but just spin just dominating. So far, in terms of top wicket takers in the tournament, we have got only, well, no, we got 2. We got 3 pacers. So the top wicket takers at the moment are Ryan John, 13 wickets at 11, Windwards. Jamel Warrican, 12 wickets at 9, Barbados. Jeremiah Louis, Leewards, 12 wickets at 13. Ashmead Ned, West Indies Academy, 11 wickets at 16. And then Shamar Springer, medium pace at best, 11 wickets at 17. So we've got, I'd call Ryan John quickish. Jamel Warrican, obviously slow left arm. Jeremiah Louis, medium quick. Ashmead Ned, slow left arm. Shamar Springer, medium pace. Shamar Springer will probably say, come on, I'm better than medium pace. But okay, let me give him, okay, is he medium quick? I'd say medium pace, but you know what? So there's still a lot of question marks. We still can't say that we've learned anything definitive after 2 rounds of the West Indies Domestic Championship. But here's what we do know. The 3rd round of the competition starts on Wednesday, so we're about 72 hours away. Jamaica Scorpions will be playing the Barbados Pride. The Leeward Island Hurricanes will be playing the Trinidad and Tobago Red Force. That game is in St. Kitts. The West Indies Academy will be playing Guyana Harpy Eagles. That game is in Antigua. And the Windwards will be playing CCC. I'm unsure at this moment in time. I just need to, let me go and double check where that game. The Jamaica game is definitely taking place in Jamaica. I just need to double check where. Bear with me, people. I want to find this. I don't want to get this wrong. See how many pages I've got open. Let's see if I've even. Yeah, here we go. No, here we go. Right. So let me give you that again, people. Let's see if we've got the fixtures here. So Leeward Islands are going to play Trinidad and Tobago Red Force, and that's in St. Kitts. West Indies Academy will play Guyana at the Coolidge Cricket Ground in Antigua. Jamaica will play Barbados in Kingston, Sabina Park. And the Windward Islands will play CCC at Chedwin Park in Spanish Town. Okay. So you would expect of those 4 games that the Windward Islands are going to absolutely demolish CCC. But let's see. Let us see. Maybe I'll have that wrong. And then just to remind people, after that round of games takes place, we then have no more games for another 2 to 3 weeks. Okay. And then the games will start again on the 13th of March, by which point games will move to Trinidad and Antigua, etc. So the Jamaica leg will be over. So they'll have to fly teams to different areas and so on and so forth. Listen, people, I'm still reeling from my mistake about the Windwards and the Leewards, but we got there in the end. That's the round 2 review of the West Indies Domestic Championship. As ever, all of the games you can catch on the YouTube channel. I've been Machel St. Patrick here, one half of the Caribbean Cricket Podcast. If you want to find us, as usual, go to Twitter, go to Instagram at Carib Cricket, Facebook, just type in Caribbean Cricket Podcast. The YouTube channel, well, just put it into YouTube, you will find us. And if you want to support us, go to www.patreon.com/Carib Cricket. Like I said at the start of the show, Miles Bascombe, Director of Cricket for Cricket West Indies, will be on the show tomorrow. That will go out. That will be on our channels pretty much as soon as I can after we've recorded it. So maybe 2 hours after we've recorded it. So look out for that. That's going to be a really, really good discussion about domestic cricket and development within the region and so on and so forth. So do look in for that. Anyways, listen, I'm out of here. Peace.
We rule the cricket world. Now the rule seems coming.
Welcome to the Caribbean Cricket Podcast, your one-stop shop for all things West Indies cricket. By the fans, for the fans.